So here's another question. Give us an example of a time when you had a failure that impacted your work or life, and how did you bounce back from that?
Work or life? Well, I could punt and say that I'm sure I've barked at Kim from time to time. Kim, I'm sorry. So I'm bouncing back by saying I'm sorry. I want to talk about personal failure. So this is something I spend a lot of time thinking about, and that I try to accept my failures and fail a lot, and investing every day in making a decision, and I make a mistake probably 5 times a day. So I have a lot of failure feedback. There's a lot of feedback on failure. But so I think the biggest challenge for me is when I have a personal or moral or character failing that I have to deal with that impacts the people that I work with. We're humans, right? I come into work and dump on people if they're failing. So I want to talk a little bit about what I view as a personal or moral failing that I've had. So I told you my older brother's in and out of prison his whole life, and he's an addict. And I think it has been a moral failure of me to ignore that. He's been in and out of jail. I've never visited him in jail or prison. I really don't acknowledge the seriousness of that addiction and the impact it's had on my mom and my family. And I've been on such a freaking high horse about not being an addict and not being in jail that I realized recently that I put as much tension on our family with that attitude as he does with his addiction. My mom has us pulling on her, right? And then I bring it to work. So we come to work. Our office is on the side of the building that faces City Hall and the county courthouse. And I hate looking down at the courthouse when they're bringing a prisoner in. I hate being on the street when prisoners are coming and going because I'm pretty sure I know people. I'm going to bump into someone who's going to jail or going to court, and everyone in town, nearly every black person except for the ones in this room, are related to me. So I'm a lawyer, and I have this deep anxiety about the courthouse and the consequences, and I envision my brother and his life, and it just takes me to a bad place. And I think a moral failing in my life has been an unwillingness to deal with it. And that moral failing means I, from time to time, get annoyed with Kim for scheduling a meeting in our conference room that looks down on the courthouse. Or I don't want to go to the center building because I have to navigate that walk past the courthouse door. And I just have to deal with it. So I would say that is a failing that is something that is not transactional for me, it's continuous. And I have to get comfortable saying, this is a major issue in my life. It's a major issue that plays out in my sensitivities. It's a major issue in my life at work because Trayvon happens and then I'm like freaked out at work. So I'm learning to communicate and get comfortable with this huge privilege I have that I've inherited in this life. That of all the kids in the projects in Northeast Portland, I'm probably one of 5, right, that really had astronomical outcomes that were better than anybody expected. And so how do I have that be true and find a way to be loving to my family, my brother, my mother, my nephews, given that my brother was not, right? And so that's a feeling that I think I need to be comfortable with. And I don't think I bounce back. You know, I don't. And for some of those, you won't. Is that the last question?
We're going to do like 3 more and then we'll open it up.
Yep.